Hello and welcome back to Industriegigant, and when we last left off we had another surprisingly easy crisis management mission. I don't think it will be easy or relaxing this particular mission here in the second to last one of the campaign, because this time around the target will be relatively ambitious by all accounts, right? Would it not be? I think I'm not mistaken here. Alright, so they want to see a new company, they want to see a 12 million at the end of 2047, and we have nothing to work with right now. But we can use that silver mine here, right? But the gems on the other hand not so much, because this ought to be a gold mine, surely. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense, because the gems cannot be sold separately in this game. In case something goes horribly wrong, we start with the jewelry angle here, I suppose. That couldn't be a terrible idea. So what's in the area? Of course, need to sell some rings in the meantime, don't we? Okay, I guess we start with this here. Hopefully it's not too worrisome. We can build them, yes, indeed we can. Okay, 5 silver rings. I guess it will be a truck angle anyway. Yeah, finding a good spot here, not easy as you can tell, but that seems to be a suitable position, thankfully. And how many jewelry stores do we need for that matter? I'm not quite sure. Jewelry industry is relatively expensive, but not nearly as expensive as the electronic components, of course, unsurprisingly. Okay, that ought to be plenty, I'm thinking, right? Okay, what else is in the area? Plenty of plastic here. I don't think 3 stores will be sufficient for this, right? Wouldn't you think? Apparently we're in Austria someplace, I would assume. Yeah, indeed we are. Salzhafen, alright, haven't heard of this town in particular, but alrighty. This one doesn't have the greatest growth prospects anyway, because of its location and the terraforming angle. Okay, 5 rings per month isn't a whole lot anyway. But I want to have this set up and humming along sooner or later, you know, that would be swell. I guess we could sell some rings here in Salzburg, couldn't we? I suppose we could do that. But we also want to preserve a downtown prime real estate for some electronic stores, ideally. Yeah, something like this I think could work, so let's just start putting some puzzle pieces together, shouldn't we? There's only one mine, we need some flat terrain, of course, and back here in Austria there is not a whole lot of flat terrain to work with, I would think. I don't think Austria looks like this. At least I don't remember it looking like this, frankly. Okay, so it will be pretty difficult already, I can tell. Okay, interesting, but of course it's the second to last mission of the campaign, so I guess. How expensive? 600 and something thousand, so we have to start with jewelry here, I suppose. Unfortunately, we can't use any of these zombies around here for anything, really. Okay, that's what I figured. I guess we have to take a loan anyway, right? Considering. That seems pretty likely. Okay, but for now we just start doing something here and hope for the best. Maybe we can keep the terraforming angle to a minimum this time around. We'll have to see about that. Two, 3, 4, 5, I believe. That should be doable, I'm hoping. And it's also the entire capacity of this mine, I would figure. Okay then. Salzhafen looks interesting, but I guess we can focus on something else. I mean, we can only focus on electronic components, so it will be a pretty hectic mission. And can you please help me with the camera angle there once in a while game? Thank you very much. So throw this together here quickly, and then at least not have a loan to worry about. So in actuality, we're not losing any money because there's no property maintenance in this game, surprisingly. Of course, this will change once we wrap up our campaign in Industriegigant 1 and move on to Industriegigant 2 once again. Because I fully intend to replay this game as well. At least a couple of these campaigns, you know, maybe not all of them. You see about this. At the moment we focus on one mission at a time, of course. Maybe what we could be doing is to build up our highway network. Go for truck angle only, because the terrain is relatively unfavorable, but usually it does lead to some problems, of course, as we already know. Should be doable, yeah, so there we have it, fantastic. Just once again keeping these potential traffic jams in mind, so we leave plenty of space for that. And then see what we can do here, right? But I think it should all be connected for the most part, as far as I can tell. Well, except for this one, of course. Maybe we can pick up something on the return trip with jewelry. There really isn't any point, frankly, right? Wouldn't you think? I guess then we have to reuse some city streets and hope that there isn't a traffic jam occurring. At least for this portion. First things first, it's kind of important to start making some money, wouldn't you think? Alright, well, that should be plenty for now, I'm thinking here. Maybe we can make do without the dome, we have to see about this. So how many rings did they want over here? So it's 8, right? Okay, so 2 trucks going back and forth. I think it shall be plenty. I really wish it was a gold mine, you know, not a silver mine, because we have no opportunity to build these rings then as a consequence, not a single one. The entirety of the campaign I should add here, of course. Yeah, since money is so tight, we have to start very small here. And then also redo our orders yet again. Of course we do. Queue up these trucks first, ideally. Yeah, that would be the smart idea, I would think. Okay, 8 rings, so much of the same story over here then, I would figure. Just 2 trucks and nothing else, and we make the adjustments later on. If only we could buy them in bulk, or alternatively clone vehicle orders, but of course we cannot. Okay, these hybrid trucks, not the cheapest ones, of course, as you would think. Yeah, 12,200. Yeah, 12,200, right? Okay, 2 trucks for this ink as well, so well, we can't sell this many rings anyway. So we'll have to see, because it's bottlenecking us over here anyway. Yes, I know we need more materials, but I want to queue up these vehicles first here, because we need to make money immediately. There can be no delays, of course. Okay, you're still aren't moving. But this isn't the catchment area, right? Is double checking? Yeah, of course it is. Okay, 6 rings, so we can send maybe 4 trucks here. They should be able to deliver at least 1 item per month, I'm hoping. Okay, but before we do this, let's just queue up another truck. It's pretty pricey, wouldn't you think? Yeah, because we're getting broke here constantly. But this should make us a little bit of money, hopefully. But not a whole lot, as you can tell. I don't think we can even set up an electronics factory with only 1 million to start out with, because one factory is almost 700,000. And usually we need electronic components, because at this point in time, televisions and the other stuff that don't rely on electronic boards have become completely obsolete already. So that's also something to keep in mind. Yeah, okay, it was very pricey. Apparently, it's too pricey. I mean, the production is, of course. Because we're actually losing money right now. But there is no stockpile here. Are we already delivering too many items in this area? Well, we could. Yeah, so we've lost some money here. Even though it doesn't update the button, of course. Always good when it happens. That's not going to be super profitable, but we have to start somewhere. So I can only hope we didn't screw ourselves over already, because as you can see, we're losing money non-stop essentially. That's less ideal. I didn't think it would happen already. That's not a problem with moving these items in here, right? But Jury really shouldn't age whatsoever. So I'm not sure what the problem is here. Why would they give us access to this otherwise? Just to screw over the player, I suppose. Can barely finance a couple of trucks here, let alone something else. You know, that's the thing. I'm not quite sure how much more we can squeeze out of here, realistically speaking. Maybe one additional truck here. How much is it actually? 2,700 for one silver nugget. Yeah, okay, that would explain some of our problems, I guess. Is there any opportunity to increase prices, maybe? Any? No, not really, right? We have it maxed out everywhere, I can already tell as much. So silver rings may have been a mistake then, my friends, after all. Okay, now we have to save up some money or take out a big loan. But I do believe all these simple items have become completely obsolete already. This doesn't sell for anything, this doesn't sell for anything, this also doesn't sell for anything, so unless we can scrape together some money to set up an electronics chain here, nothing's going to happen. I mean, it doesn't say it's completely obsolete, but if we set down the factory and try to sell these items, they won't be giving us any whatsoever. I already know that, because I learned this the hard way and the other season. Because this menu over here is not context sensitive or anything in between. It's just ain't. Yeah, but we're making some money here, but we're barely breaking even, barely. But of course we cannot sell these gems directly, is what I guess. Of course we can also not negotiate with our suppliers. Yeah, 19, that's more like it. I don't think I can make room for that, and no another platform over here someplace. I don't think that's going to happen. This is still inside the catchment area, surprisingly. Okay, I guess I take it, but not like this here, please. Now we're broke again. Goodie. Just need a couple of trucks, you know. Just to make sure there ain't a traffic jam occurring. So then we have to squeeze the road through here. Quickly. Ideally. Quickly, I said. We worry about our highway network once we get there. So this mission isn't very easy. It's a massive difficulty spike from the yeah, from the other two missions we just had. So it's befitting of a 9th mission out of 10, you know, this time around. Okay, so it's connected at least with something. So we can sell 19 rings over there, so we better get started. Yeah, okay, but first things first, need another truck over here, of course, to deliver these juicy silver nuggets, and I think it's about the maximum we can get out of there anyhow. Because it's only like 24 units, whatever, right? Something like that. Okay, now the trucks are already too pricey, yet again. Maybe 6 trucks here, something like that, pretty please. I don't want to take another loan if I can avoid it, so we have to buy them one at a time here, I guess. Did you not save my orders? You did save my orders, so the problem is just the supply once again, because let me guess, we already planted 3 this month. Is it outside the catchment area? That cannot be, right? No, it's just waiting here for the materials to be delivered. I'm not quite sure how the game selects the priority or anything in between. I don't have the slightest clue, incidentally. I think breaking even will be pretty difficult already. We should have at least a couple 100,000 already in the bank. So this may have been ill-advised. But there is no point of even making any of these televisions. Or the hi-fi units or anything in between. The set-top boxes. They are completely useless already. So silver rings may not give us the financial backing we need here. So I'm not quite sure how we can turn things around then. I mean, situation is improving ever so slightly, but it's hardly ideal. Let's just keep observing here for a little bit and see what we can do, if anything. Yeah, I think this thing runs dry right before the month is over. I think so. That means there is the time to do this here, I would think. We can deliver 19 because there's insufficient supply for that. Nope, it's also completely mixed out, so there's simply no wiggle room for anything. Yeah, there simply is no wiggle room for anything. That's what I was fearing here. My worst nightmares have been confirmed. I didn't deliver a single one because it's too far away. Are you fucking kidding me with this? These items just disappearing into the ether without anyone telling us really now. That one fucking type once again. So this wasn't actually operating, I would suppose. Okay, which trucks go where exactly? Okay, you're coming from Centro, I guess. Okay. I think there shouldn't be too many on this line anyhow, but there we go. There we go, this thing completely bugged out immediately. Wow, fantastic. Once again, don't reuse vehicles in this game. It just ain't worth the trouble. It never works whatsoever. Whatever, just scrap these fucking things because they're not going to work anyhow. Of course, they're not getting any money back, unsurprisingly. Okay, hopefully that does fix some of our problems, because that would explain why we didn't earn any money, right? It actually lost some money. But so delivered too many, of course, now, because I scrapped some trucks, but it will even out eventually, I'm hoping. It's not exactly looking all that great, right? So probably should use a different slot for this. We can always start over, I suppose. Surely. I mean, we do have up to the end of 2046 to build some structures, but at the moment the target is 12 million of profit per year. At the moment we have a minus 27,000 this year. So how far off can we possibly be? So we have to finance one electronics industry at a time. Okay, now that we're actually making some money, at least a little bit of money. Is it something, right? Okay, have we finally sell some items? Yeah, so this is the absolute maximum. Cannot squeeze anything out of this area. Nothing more is available. Okay, so we need to finance the one electronics industry, which I do believe is 600 and something thousand, right? And we need to, of course, find out in tons of plastic, which may be impossible given the situation on this map. Of course, I never used this, right? Did I do? Yeah. Of course, there is no room to give here. There is no raw material to spare. So we just swap it out for an electronics store, for instance. That could be a good idea. Ado Salzhafen probably has the higher demand anyhow. I do see some plastic plants here at least. And we still can get some loans here, of course. Okay, what we want to do, we need to have this local idea divide. But we need electronic components. There's no alternative to this. So this mission won't be easy. I can already tell as much. Interesting that the game designed a program in Austria doesn't have umlauts here in these names. Why not? Because there are umlauts over here. So there isn't a limitation, right, with the font and whatnot. That's really strange. Beats me, to be honest. Beats me indeed. Okay, we need electronic components. There's no alternatives. So I guess the factory does show us the correct estimated profit, and which is 0 for televisions and the old stuff, of course. And every item does require some sort of other material other than plastic, right? Plastic, aluminium, plastic, okay. Plastic, steel and plastic. You get the idea, right? So everything needs plastic essentially, but we can only focus on one thing at a time. So, okay, we can build us some cellular phones, some good old Nokias. That could work. So one copper, one plastic, make us some electronic components, and the other one we have to use for some sellable products, which incidentally is not electronic components, so what gives I guess. Okay, so then we focus on maybe Salzhafen, and after all, there's primary estate someplace, I'm sure. Yes, 81,000, 720,000 demolition costs, and there we have it, only 10,000. Okay, so I do like the demand. This one we just swap out for electronic components once we get there. What shall it be? Train angle? Well, trains are expensive, but of course the demand is also pretty high. Start building some infrastructure because it's going to be necessary. And terraforming, of course. Unfortunately so this mission will be pretty difficult. I'm not quite sure it can be done. But ideally I don't want to fail, of course. But it's a possibility, it's a real possibility in this mission. I'm going to warn you already. We only need one tile. Only one tile will be necessary. Oh, great. It's another 120,000 just in demolition cost. Weide. Cannot fucking pause the game, you know, for this. That's the reason and the problem. I guess then we have to share one platform when it comes to our trains selling items, essentially, right? Okay, then we use this plateau here, I suppose, somehow. And there we have it, we earned 300 and something thousand last year. At least it's not a negative amount, right? Okay, I'm not sure what we're going to sell here, what would make sense. We have to start somewhere, of course. I leave some space for the second track in case we need it. Yeah, jury isn't going to pay any bills here, of course. But this has been connected, so the factory can be over here. So now we need to funnel in some raw materials. We need to funnel in tons of raw materials, as a matter of fact. Need these plastic and electronic components, which we can do over here someplace. So different station, ideally, just to keep it separate and neat and organized and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Although it may end up looking like this. Ideally, both of them in the catchment area wide, wouldn't you think? Right, game? Two platforms over here too, of course. So this one is probably going to be a Mac left already. The locomotives are super pricey, but I simply cannot justify going with anything else because the demand will be pretty overwhelming no matter how we look at it. Okay, we also need some copper, of course. And we need to build another electronics factory here someplace as well, don't we? And the space is limited, there's also mountainous terrain, and there's also plenty of water on the map, even worse. Are they? No, of course they are. There's one tied to... Oh, of course it would be. And of course you can do this because you get the idea. So good here. Great, fantastic. Of course there's some level terrain tools, so I'm just wasting all my money here essentially, but we earn a pitiful amount of dough in the meantime. At least in this game it is a pitiful amount of money. And I'm not quite sure how many electronic stores we need in this area to justify using maglev for this. I'm not sure, man. We need to get started here. So it's in the catchment area finally. It's at least the start, wouldn't you think? So copper is incoming. Now we need to funnel all of this in here in the central area somewhere. Yeah, so one station for delivery of raw materials here somewhere. Two tracks for this, of course. One for plastic, one for copper. I don't like the setup here, but what can we do? We don't have the luxury to, of course, be too picky here about our situations. In case something fails, I need to swap this out for faster locomotives later on because the maglev is just too pricey to set up with an income base as lackluster as ours. It just is the truth, you know. Then we need another station to cart the electronic components over there. Yeah, what a stupid setup here, but of course we have to do it. Just double checking, we have a plastic times 2, we have a copper. Okay, we can sell plenty of mobile phones. That's what I figured, so now it's just down to a couple of factories. And thankfully there's no maintenance in this game, so we can just set them down. No, we cannot because they are too pricey. I mean, there's no point of even trying that, right? But of course, well, make ourselves some money here, ideally. Or just get ourselves some money. Hopefully it's not the end of the world, but it could be. As you can tell, minus 2,000 something here, so I wasn't misremembering, of course. These aren't worth anything anymore. There's no point of even trying that. This needs to be double tracked, I can already tell. And we also need plenty of plastic, so now I have to wait around here until we have enough money to purchase all these locomotives, which will take... I'm not quite sure how long. I mean, I can't use trucks for this. There simply is no point of trying that. These will be essential anyway, so we start with that. So we can earn money immediately. I'm hoping, once we start the plastic deliveries, of course. I need to purchase both locomotives at the same time. Actually, all 3 locomotives at the same time, because we need to funnel in plastic over here, of course. That's also an idea, wouldn't you think? And the production will be pretty pricey, so we have to now accumulate about 500,000 just for these locomotives. Ain't that fantastic? Yeah, ain't it fantastic indeed, my friends? I'm not sure we can meet the deadline as a consequence. I really do not know. Have to squeeze out every single little bit we can get here. Every single little bit. And hope for the best. Yeah, what can we get out of these chemical plants? On 75 units. Interesting. Of course, it's only up to the end of 2050 and then the game is over, I believe. Okay, we can finance 2 locomotives almost, but we need 3 locomotives. And how many can we realistically deliver? I think we should probably increase the prices before we even do anything else. And then go from there. We're actually losing money, but it doesn't make any sense. We need 3 locomotives for this. And I cannot take any other loans, right? Nope, of course it's fully maxed out now. Yeah, we would be completely broke already with property maintenance, which thankfully isn't in this game. Yeah, how expensive was 1 locomotive again? Just double checking. 100,000, okay. So we can get started here, I'm guessing. Alright, dann wie zweitert. Hope we don't regret our decision. Of course, there's also some delay in the system, unsurprisingly. Of course, now we are purchasing these raw materials at a rapid pace, you know. That's also the thing we need to keep in mind. Better get started here with deliveries, wouldn't you think? Which hopefully will be occurring shortly. Yeah. I can obviously see that we have some problems here, right? Okay, can we please move these mobile phones finally? Thank you very much. Yeah, we need to ship out more stuff here. What are we waiting for? Nothing really, right? Just some plastic. Okay, then. Yeah, we need a different locomotive just to be on the safe side for now. Cannot be too picky. As soon as we have like 100,000, we need to immediately go for another locomotive. Especially also for plastic, I would think. Yeah, this is the time where we're getting broke, I think, right? Yeah, copper. So this seems to be holding steady, but we really need more plastic. We desperately need more plastic. Yeah, okay, I cannot make you any faster, but chances simply cannot, right? It ain't happening here. Okay, then we stop this here very brief, because it's, yeah, taking up too much money. Sorry. Of course, we cannot, it's too close. I guess the passing loop is the only thing we can use here, because there is not enough space for that right now. And we don't have the money to be fancy, right? Unfortunately so. But it's hardly ideal. In an ideal world, we could attach some more wagons for this. Of course, we cannot in this game, so I guess. Yeah, as soon as we can, get ourselves a second locomotive. There we have it. Come on, we need to sell these items pronto, please. Thank you very much. No delay is acceptable. Electronic components, that really are the nightmares in this game. Because the production costs are outlandish. Because of this here, primarily, and all the items are also expensive to manufacture. Even worse. And of course, you can only have one platform in here. So we should probably double track this line all the way so our trains are waiting all the time. But of course, this area we cannot double track. But we can certainly build a second platform over here. So let's start. Just to help them along here, just a little bit. Yeah, now we cannot be too greedy, of course. We have to lower the prices because we're now delivering more of those lovely little old Nokias. The 1610, I believe it was the model, yes. Okay, we need to utilize the electronic components for someplace else because apparently there's still a fucking shortage of plastic as is customary back here. But we just can't have that, I'm sorry. Need to fix this somehow. Need to ship out all the mobile phones we can. Utilize all the plastic components we can possibly get our hands on. I guess that we have to reuse the station here somehow. It really is very annoying, if I'm honest. But at least we can slap another building in here then, I suppose. This time we make left just to be on the safe side. So we have to sneak it around here somehow. Fucking plastic nonsense. Of course, you can only get so many items out of this facility anyhow. Also something to keep in mind. Maybe a Tano. Bridge and a Tano, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't lying to you, right? This will be a hectic mission. But please finally start finding in more plastic. Find at least one locomotive, I'm hoping. And apparently there's only one for maglev. Okay, so finally it's on its way. So hopefully you can fix this imbalance here. Our maglev trains. Slowly is the answer, probably. Yeah, we have way too many electronic components in storage, and over here it will be too much plastic all of a sudden. Oh, it's not terrible. Maybe we can sell a couple of them on the side here at this electronics store if I can replace it before the town does something ugly. It's essentially right over here. We can squeeze it right next to the train station, which is nice. Let me guess, there's no way this is happening, of course, unsurprisingly. So, are you happy now? And DDR, that's excellent. Ah, it looks a bit weird, right? I would think so at least, because of the lack of shading. That's the intended way to use this probably, I would think. Otherwise it really looks very odd. Yeah, 60 free plastic, but how can this be? Because the route over here is shorter, certainly, right? Compared to plastic deliveries. I don't quite get it. But we need to sell more items, I can understand that at least. We're already delivering so many, so we go all out here, I suppose, on the advertisement. Probably. Also increase the price just a tiny bit. That should give us the proper balance, I'm hoping, but we need to have another outlet here someplace. So where can it be? We simply cannot be picky, that's the thing though, we simply cannot be too picky. We have to sell all the items we can make. That's the most important thing here. Mobile phones, okay, but the demolition costs are just too high. 7 mobile phones for 9,000, that looks like a good deal in my eyes. Yeah, we have to take what we can get. I simply cannot justify building up another maglev line to some faraway place. Just isn't justifiable right now. Need to save up for the second electronics chain somewhere, I would think. We simply cannot deliver enough plastic. It's ridiculous. We have the fastest monorail locomotives. We have a maglev coming over here that's delivering plastic non-stop essentially. And you're once again telling me it simply isn't enough? How is that sensible there? I just don't get it, I'm sorry. Okay, and then also remove one wagon here and see if it fixes the problem or not. Because we're paying for all these materials we ain't using right now. How can we possibly fit in more plastic in here? I guess we try that. I mean, it's the only thing I can see right now that needs fixing. So once again, one additional line here somehow and somewhere. Great. Maglev isn't very fast to accelerate from the standstill, you know, that's also a thing. So the passing loops that don't work too well for us. But we definitely need more goddamn plastic. Can we tunnel underneath our own structures? I guess we find out. We should be able to, but I wouldn't take it for granted. Okay, we can. That's nice. It's simply not enough time to waste. Can you please finally be a little bit cooperative here, game? Is that too much to ask for? And we have to deliver even more plastic. I'm sure we can get at least one additional train here full of plastic running non-stop essentially. But I think it's the maximum we can get out of there. Why is it connected? Oh, really? How does it make sense? I remember now it's a bug in this game because the game thinks it's connected even though the Tando is the one layer underneath, of course. So we cannot go in there. It's physically impossible. Okay, whatever. So, can we finally fix our shortage of plastic then, I'm hoping? That would be swell. And then we need to start selling items, of course. I'm not quite sure we're getting here, but the start was pretty rocky, wouldn't you think? So, anything else in the area, anything else that can act as a cargo sink? Yeah, right across the bay here if we wanted to. Or we go for Salzburg, but this would have to be a train angle. Yeah, it would have to be a train angle desperately, so... So 400,000 a month, not too shabby. I guess it has to be done, right? There's no need, no reason to rely on a truck angle in here. I don't think that would work, right? Okay, so how close do we have to be? Pretty close, I would think, right? It's just How can I make room for this with all this terrain nonsense here? I'm not sure. Depends, of course, if we have sufficient plastic deliveries now. I cannot quite tell. Otherwise, I would just reuse these platforms. But maybe it's a stupid idea. Okay, since we have to wait around anyhow, then we prepare the terrain here once again. If everything is humming along, if we're selling all of our mobile phones, we may be able to squeeze out, I'm not quite sure how many million of bucks per month. Or at least per year. Can it be too much, frankly? Yeah, but it's a nightmare situation in this game with time pressure, and then we have to set up the electronics chain from zero, essentially. And as you can see, every tiny imbalance really does ruin you. It really does. Salzburg isn't the largest town ever, though. That's also a thing. So is there anything juicy available? I mean, a Salzhafen, but we already have it serviced. But how can I get a, train over here? Or bridge, for that matter? Maybe I have to. Well, let's just find out, right? Yeah, that ain't happening. We need to, of course, have a little section in the middle here. To both tracks. And of course, since bridges cannot be side by side, we have to make it even wider. And prepare the terrain on every shore. I guess that's where the ships will be coming in handy from the expansion pack, right? Maybe. Aircraft, presumably not so much. Bridges cannot be side by side, so it's just, it just never ends here, right? But at least we know, so we can take these quirks into consideration before we make a terrible mistake. Yes, thanks for that. Not even 2 million. Can't even look at the production statistics right about now because we need to make some money. It's very important, of course. So, what's the situation here? What can we service? Maybe only one shop per town or something like that. I'm not sure. This is terrible. Yeah, okay, Salzhafen is the largest town on the map, I would figure, isn't it? For the most part. Okay, then we have Eisenhausen over here. That looks more like it. That's a worthwhile target. I guess then we go for that. Given the distance, we can already assume it needs to be quadruple tracked. Probably. And once again, even if we squeeze it in here, it will be one tie too far away, or maybe not. Okay, not quite. Yeah, this is thankfully the catchment area, which is fantastic, just stellar here. But it's kind of far away from our production lines, all things considered, but these towns simply ain't worth servicing with maglev. I just don't see it. The investment needs to be paying off, of course. Sooner than later, ideally. But in the context of the game, this is still a very slow line, despite using maglev for this. I think it's like 420 kph, you know? But still, it's too slow. Man, it takes an entire year just building a couple of lines here, unbelievably so. I don't care about what. I cannot select this because it's at the map edge really. Are you serious with this now game? Pretty serious apparently. Okay, also give a wide berth to these facilities because we could use the flat terrain for some production eventually. Whenever that will be, but only one production line isn't sufficient to meet the target, needless to say. Far from it. Why is there no level terrain tool in this game? I'm not quite sure. Maglev tracks are super expensive to lay down, but I can see we're simply not earning enough money here for anything. We need to be worthwhile. But it seems to be connected finally. Everything is connected, right? We don't have time to waste here, so let's just send some trains on the merry way. So last time we checked it was 81 electronic components in storage, and now it's nothing, because we have way too many mobile phones, not enough electronic components, now we have too much plastic. It's always something in this game. Okay, goodie. Oh, goodie. I suppose we could also pick up something on the return trip, but at the moment there is no opportunity to set anything down. And this year we earned not enough money, of course, since we have way too many mobile phones in storage. Yeah, so interesting, but still it's worrisome. Like here we have still too much plastic, despite already removing one wagon. But I don't want to have to mess with this all the time, you know, because the ratio is a very precarious balance, as we are well aware in this game. I mean, plastic is the most expensive raw material in the game, but still, it's hardly ideal. So is there anything else that is worth selling to? Doesn't need to be super fancy here, anything in between. Of course, you have to keep in mind there's a road going for here, right? What's the problem? Did you not auto-connect? Oh, back here? Oh, really now? That was the problem? Okay, that would explain my confusion. Yeah, I'm sorry. And also the driver's confusion because the station wasn't even showing up, right? You did see that. There wasn't even a yellow indicator. The station just simply didn't exist there. Really? That has never happened before as far as I can remember. Okay, the stockpile is going down finally, so then we sent only 4 trucks this way. Erase my orders, why not? And again, of course. Yeah, the beauty of Industriegigant 1. Yeah, this time you were kind enough to remember my settings. Thank you very much there. Okay, so this year we have earned a little bit of money at least. So maybe it's not out of the question after all. But I'm still pretty concerned here, regardless. But it's going down, I'm thinking, right? Yeah, okay, so that means we need more electronic components. Which we are already delivering as fast as humanly possible. I guess if our trains have to wait ever so slightly, I'm not too concerned about this. Back here we can certainly increase the prices just a tiny bit, or even a massive bit for that matter. Okay, that's good to see. Hopefully the Germanosphere will also hum along nicely along the way. And over here, of course, we have way too many in storage since I'm too greedy. But we can fix this, no problem, I'm thinking. So, do we have the luxury to sit around and wait for a year to see what the profit looks like? I don't think we do. I mean, the target is 12 million. But I'm concerned about this angle because there's only so much plastic in here. Despite having 2 chemical plants right there. There's only so much we can get here, right? Okay, now we need more electronic components. It would appear we need more copper, of course. Can we fix that? Nope, of course it's too close. Of course, that's what I figured, since there's this mountainous terrain to work with. Or at least the hilly terrain. About good here. And then we also need to attach these other plastic wagons again, I would think, right? Most likely. I'll just go into the wrong station. Yeah, which train was it again? You, my friend, right? Yes, thank you. I think there will be a shortage of plastic here pretty soon. But there shouldn't be any shortage of copper, because we have 2 steel mills and I can deliver quite a few items. There needs to be a maglev then, I suppose, to move these electronic components over here, even though it's the shortest of routes we have for train angles on this mission. I think at least. Yeah, it's a precarious balance, but it needs to be humming along. We need to be sure about this, so we can leave it unattended for a little bit. That would be important. Cannot be babysitting the shit all the time. Yeah, that's what I meant, and now this train is too slow. It's just... It now is too slow, of course. So we have to swap it out for some backlift here, I guess. But even that will not be fast enough, I think. This is very realistic, needless to say. Thankfully, we don't have to do this nonsense at Industriegigant 2 any longer, because we can just have a stockpile area here in the middle, distribute these items directly between these 2 factories, because that would make some sense. In real life, you do have this between factories, you know. Indeed you do. But it could still be too slow. It may actually still be too slow or insufficient, because you can only move 6 items at a time. But okay, we can maybe manage the 8 million mark per year if everything hums along without any interference. Can we manage? I don't think we can manage, right? Of course we cannot. Unsurprisingly, we cannot manage with a maglev train going back and forth non-stop essentially. So we're doing what exactly now? It's just ridiculous, frankly. How do we fix this, goddammit? There ain't no goddamn room any longer here. This cannot be done. This cannot be done, of course. Okay, thankfully it is in the catchment area. Okay, Tano underneath. And then we built a second platform. And I do believe this should be still available. Thank you very much. Okay, and maglev, of course, because what else? It's always maglev. I still cannot believe we cannot move these items in the air quickly enough with maglev. It's like what? 50 meters maybe? Yeah, so we need to sell more mobile phones, of course. But where exactly can we sell them? This could be a good idea, so why don't we investigate this? I can also see a parking lot right in downtown. We can take over. And I think we have 2 platforms available, at least theoretically so. Yeah, okay. Surely this can be done somehow. Yeah, this mission doesn't make it very easy, of course. But I like the challenge. Even though it does, of course, expose the weaknesses of this game a little bit too clearly sometimes. Let me goddamn connect this tile already. What does it take, game? What the fuck does it take? Looks like I got a nerf here, as you can tell, evidently. Because it's just too much to handle sometimes here, at least it feels like it. Yeah, we go finally in the most convoluted way possible. We can connect our maglev train line here. Okay, so now we need to get over here somehow. Past all this nonsense, presumably and ideally. To reach our destination over here somewhere. So, okay, of course there are no diagonal rotas in this game or anything in between. So we have to make do with what's available. But this area is completely and utterly maxed out already. We take whatever we need from this side. After we did yet more terraforming, of course. Yet more terraforming, of course. Yeah, eventually. Okay, it's just... oh man, it's so annoying. I cannot just click drag here. No, I have to do it like this here. One tile at a time while the game is running in the background. Yeah, looks like a good opportunity for a pair of tunnels, maybe. We don't really care about how pricey they are at the moment. I think we're past that. I know it does show me the problem on the other side, but I cannot see it because the screen resolution is too low. And of course it doesn't, what do you mean? Why can't I build here? There should be plenty of room for fucking tunnel. What's the problem, game? Why? Tunnels can be side by side. What's the goddamn problem? Okay, whatever, then we do it your way, because apparently you are very particular about this angle for no reason whatsoever. And then to get on the player's nerves, I suppose, something like that. That seems more likely in my eyes, to be honest. Yeah, so close yet so far away as the saying goes. But why couldn't I build a tunnel back here? There's no reason for this whatsoever. There should be parallel, no problem whatsoever. Of course, doesn't tell me. I just have to guess. So I put it all on the game here. That wasn't my fault whatsoever. Okay, almost there, almost there. Just a couple more tiles and hope everything has been connected. So now we send in more trains, of course. As soon as possible to sell these mobile phones, which no doubt have piled up in the factory already. Assume, of course, we can move all these electronic components over here. Some trains are waiting, so the answer is we haven't done this, of course. Unsurprisingly. Right, because it's still waiting, and we're waiting for what exactly? Is it plastic now? No, it's electronic components. This is oh no, how can I possibly deliver more plastic in here? We already have like 3 trains running non-stop for this angle alone, you know? There can be no delay in the plastic deliveries. I cannot swap this out for maglev right now. It's impossible. Okay, so it's August and we wasted tons of money because there's a shortage of one material after another here in this game. Okay, this increased the prices, so our deliveries are actually worthwhile. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Maybe we can only deliver 18 per month anyhow, given the current situation. How can we possibly fit in more plastic in here? Is it a problem with deliveries or is it a problem with our trains not arriving too frequently enough? How in the goddamn world can I deliver more plastic here? How is it even remotely feasible here? I'm not sure. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, and it's only one tile in the catchment area, but this alone will be difficult enough already here. Nope, not possible, of course. Okay, this can be done, thankfully. Then what? Tano or Validan or something like that. Okay, so, obviously for platforms, unsurprisingly, so, good idea. Yeah, this would be too close, of course, right? And this is too far away, because it's exactly one tile too far away, because it always is in this game. Well, then we just have to be reliant on one delivery here from this factory and hope for the best. I guess it has to be that way. Since I cannot merge stations, I think, in between, or have more than 4 platforms. Of course, that would be too nice, I guess. I don't think I will alleviate the entire shortage of plastic, but he's hoping. Yeah, okay, then we have to maybe remove a couple of these wagons here per train. Yeah, it's just pretty annoying, to be honest. Okay, so maybe we can leave this aside for a tiny bit and set up a different industry someplace. Maybe something that isn't really as headache-inducing as this one. That would be great. Because this isn't giving us enough money, of course. And it's very convoluted and very nasty to look at, incidentally. At least the situation seems to be improving ever so slightly. Eventually we'll get there, I'm hoping. No, of course we don't, because now the chemical plant is completely dry already, so we have to feed in some plastic from some faraway location. That's what I was fearing here, really. Okay, so, goodie. So more plastic. Of course, it's always more plastic, and no exceptions here, really. So how are we going to make this happen? Which factory needs the plastic more? I'm not sure. Maybe one line for each factory, something like that, if we can manage. If we can manage, of course, since it requires at least one additional platform. Or maybe we can reuse some of them, we have to wait and see, of course. But what can we do here, really? Nothing is the answer. Hope for the best. Seems to be our motto in this mission for the most part. I guess that we have to reuse the one platform here somehow. Yeah, 7 million, maybe 8 million on a good year. It ain't enough, of course. Yeah, once again, why can't I build a tunnel here? What's the problem? Because it crosses over, right? This case actually does make some sense. I guess that we branch off over here someplace. That's hardly ideal. All this appetite for plastic. It's getting a bit out of hand here. Remember when we started in 1960? Something like that. It was a lot more relaxed, wasn't it? In the earliest missions, even though the game, because we can have powers, was always pretty well, hectic here regardless, but still my point stands. This is something else entirely. Yeah, okay, one train on its merry way, please. I think it's still here, right? The shortfall of plastic, I think it may be. This one seems to be holding steady. We're just waiting for deliveries of electronic components. How can we possibly deliver more plastic? Branching off here maybe? But this is monorail, not maglev. So that cannot be done, of course. We cannot build anything here. Even if the terrain was suitable, because then it would be too close. We cannot do anything about terraforming back here, because then we need to demolish the entire station. And this is simply not feasible. We simply cannot do anything else. It's just too crowded. There's no way I can squeeze another platform. Other than using some trucks, you know. But this doesn't make any sense. I mean, theoretically it could work, but I wouldn't bet my life on it, frankly. Having a passing loop, you know, for free trains in Toto. But maybe it's necessary. These deliveries just aren't frequent enough. Yeah, they're simply unfrequent enough. Maybe we can keep the shared trackage to minimum. Maybe it doesn't break our trains, but it's a big maybe. We're just playing with fire here once more. Pathfinding in this game is notoriously unreliable. Never share any trackage. I've already mentioned this on multiple occasions. I pointed it out specifically for this very reason. But we don't have a choice. Just have to trust that the algorithm does work this time around, for the most part. But it may not. This video is a stupid idea. Yeah, see, that's what I meant. It's a very, very stupid idea. So, there simply isn't any room here, though. That's the problem. I simply cannot make room for a different platform. But at least the one train should be running, right? I'm hoping. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't work, right? Free trains simply are too many to handle for the Pathfinder. I guess we could upgrade one of those here to maglev, but the balance is already pretty precarious. But I suppose we may have to, just so we can share it. Of course, you couldn't actually finance a maglev at the start of the mission. So we now have to fix all mistakes here, essentially, for the most part. There we go. Can we finally do it? Thank you, game. Does it work? I sure hope it does. Oh, finally it works. Well, it's a delight, isn't it? Wouldn't you think? But of course I had to connect the railway line in front of the locomotive just to make sure we can reuse it. Of course it was very important. But the game had other ideas, unsurprisingly, as is the usual around here. Okay, so George is still... Was it now plastic on this side really now? It just never ends, right? It just never got them ends here. So now we have to find out even more plastic on this side as well. How can we make this happen though? I mean, seriously now. Yeah, so focus on one production line only. That's not good. Really ain't good here, sirs. But it may have to be the case. That's what I meant, right? We can never satisfy the appetite for plastic in this game. Later on, it's impossible. It's just plain impossible. So this is the episode where we spent most of our time on troubleshooting and crisis management. Even though the last mission was specifically pointed out as crisis management. No, so... Could he? And all these tiny annoying bits of terraforming in between. But of course the one line would be sufficient for this. We need to have the starboard tractor I would figure. So I have to squeeze in another railway line for here somehow. Maybe just build a big tunnel and call it goods, something like that. Maybe. Guess we'll see about this. So we have to connect one line first, of course, somehow. But I think we cannot support much else over here anyhow. But there we have it, finally. Another plastic train on its very way. Sooner or later, ideally. We have only 2 deliveries, I just know it already. That simply isn't good enough here. And that's all we can get out of this plastic plant anyhow, I would figure. I mean, even if we fix all of this, would this be enough to meet the target parameters? I don't think it will be. I just don't think it will be, but certainly we need more plastic here. But I'm losing all hope here already, to be honest. It's not looking good for us. It really is not. But I simply cannot use faster locomotives because there aren't any faster locomotives around. We already have the best one available. No, right? We have to reuse something here, unfortunately so, but it's only the very end of the line. I think there's look ahead, so that should work theoretically. So I just sent in yet more plastic, non-stop essentially, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So December, and of course, I don't think it will be sufficient. This year was terrible because of the shortages of plastic, of course, unsurprisingly. And it's getting a bit convoluted here, needless to say. We're still waiting on plastic, aren't we? Indeed we are. Back here, now we are waiting on, of course, these raw materials here, the copper. So we shouldn't mess with the balance, because then things like these happen. Unsurprisingly. Hopefully it will hum along next year here, because I'm getting desperate. So let's just double check our existing stores here, just for an abundance of caution. Oh boy, okay, this is holding steady with maximum prices, so this is acceptable from what I can see. No stockpile, and we didn't manage to deliver anything because of the crippling shortage of plastic, so hopefully it will look a bit more positive next year, or at least this year. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Oh boy, man, this mission is super hectic, but hopefully we can still turn things around in the remainder of the mission, somehow and somewhere. Of course, it does involve more electronic components, much to my dismay. Hopefully in the last mission we don't have to worry about all these electronic components and are allowed to build something else. That would be swell. How much money do we need, relatively speaking? I'm not so sure. If you make 1 million per month, we should be able to meet the mission parameters if we cross our fingers. But I wouldn't count on this, of course. It's just too susceptible to fluctuations. So we need to make sure that we do something meaningful. Of course, from this area, I cannot really see what the terrain looks like. It's probably unsuitable for large-scale production and construction across the board. Most likely, I would think. So, 3 chemical plants in the area. That could be a good start. So, what about the towns themselves? Okay, there's Rosenmünster. It's a smallish one, especially for electronic stuff, because it's high-tech, you know, stuff like this. These only serve in the largest of towns, and these ones don't even qualify for that. But really. But the truck angle would make this even more of a headache. Can we earn 2 million at the end of February? We may be able to, but I wouldn't bet my life on it. Of course, yeah, also get rid of the credit cost here, please. Yeah, it's not happening, right? We need another industry someplace. Hopefully something that doesn't break on us all the time. With a little bit of a safety margin, ideally. Okay, Oberst Münster then, I suppose, could be the next outlet. I guess it has to be then, right? Presumably. And the terrain, unsurprisingly, is pretty terrible around here. That's what I figured. But decision has been made. We have to do something here. Before time runs out for us. But it's not an easy mission. This looks pretty decent, I would think. So what we want to focus on this time around. Well, the thing is, with mobile phones, we only need plastic. If we want to make us some computers, we also need to introduce some steel to the equation. That's this idea. I suppose if it comes, it could be more profitable on paper. And the amount is about the same. I guess we could try that. Okay, I guess we tried it indeed. So let's just see if we cannot put this together a bit more neatly without having to worry about restricted space and stuff like this. That would be fantastic, wouldn't you think? We can of course also build some other materials if there's some leftover electronic boards, for instance, which may not be the case. But this time around we go for an all-out maglev angle, I would figure. Just to roll out any other headaches along the way. Ideally. There's no time to be too fancy here, I would figure. This seems unlikely. Have to be moving now on the double. And then we make us some vidcoms, I guess. Of course, a thing that didn't really turn out to be a thing in real life, especially not a stationary type of device like this one. And people don't even use a face cam very frequently because people don't like to see other people's ugly mug, right, on a telephone. I think it's the primary justification, probably. Yeah, I'm sorry. It has been a very hectic mission, so I'm starting to make some small mistakes along the way. But the game doesn't make it easy to use the tools properly, being as clunky as they are right now. This time around there's a lot of space available, some flat terrain, so we can space this out no problem, I'm thinking. So we keep the deliveries of plastic separate from the other station. Just to be on the safe side. So we don't have to snake some railway lines for their non-stop essentially, right? Okay, over here we have copper. Over here we have plastic. We need both of those, of course. And all of it should be in the catchment area, ideally. Which we can make happen, no problem. So how many trains do we need to keep running for this? Probably 3, I would think, bare minimum. All maglev, of course. Aha, so, okay, fantastic. So, 1 over here, and 1 in the middle. We need some room just in case. Then we need to deliver, of course, electronic components non-stop, so a separate platform would be a good idea. Or there's a different station. Or we just use this one, also a good idea, I think. Because this one needs to be double-tracked, we already know that, presumably. Yeah. Let's just be honest with ourselves, right? Needs to be double-tracked. All of it we do. But hopefully with better planning, we also have better results, that would be swell. So 2 for electronic components, 2 lines for plastic, for each factory, something like that. I think it's a good idea. I should leave some space really now. I should just listen to myself. Just in case we need 2 additional platforms or something like that. But I hope that 2 deliveries of plastic, frequent deliveries of plastic, I should say, will be good enough for this. If there aren't, then okay, then we have to think of something. But this time around, at least we can put in more stations without much of a headache. Of course, now we also need some copper once more. My hope is that once these factories are humming along, that we will be able to meet the mission parameters finally. But electronic components really are a headache in this game. They do break you financially and they also break your will maybe as well at the same time. Wouldn't you think? But everything seems to be connected now, thankfully. Then we can set our plans in motion before the year ends, so we don't have to worry about the expenditures next year. I would find it agreeable for a change, because this area is not nearly as tight in terms of the space available. I don't think it would make it very easy to click on these stations here, but he's hoping. Okay, our first deliveries have occurred. That is excellent to see. But there will be some sort of imbalance here. I can already tell. That always happens, of course. No matter what. Of course, this time around we're delivering too much plastic because it's too close. In comparison. I'm not sure, friends. I really am not. But maybe we have the time to wait for at least a couple of months and see if things will be humming along or not. I just cannot believe this. I just cannot fucking believe this. I just cannot believe it, friends. I simply cannot. It's always something in this game. It's impossible to achieve any sort of balance. I want to have a clean sweep here in the next couple of months at the very least. Oh, no, cannot make it happen. Get out of the way here, please. Thank you very much. This is a top priority here, what we are doing. Now we have to wait and see, of course. And of course we have no mobile phones in storage, but plenty of electronic components. Because let me guess, the shortage once again is that fucking plastic. Even though we have like 6 train lines running in here, I think, something like that. But it never ends in this game, right? It just never ends. But I also cannot be bothered to micromanage the shit all the time, because if I fix one thing, another item breaks over here some players. There's like no respite whatsoever. Yeah, not in the slightest. So we have to use the brute force approach then, I guess. Throw up another factory chain over here somewhere. Just to make sure we have enough of a safety margin. Because it is starting to eat into my sanity here. For understandable reasons, I might add. I mean, we are delivering plastic as fast as possible from all possible angles, but it simply isn't good enough. It simply isn't good enough, right? Okay, we actually lost some money already here. How can this possibly be? Why are we losing money? How can this be? Are we cursed? He may be cursed actually, right? Because when you're selling all these fucking items in here, that's the reason, incidentally. Okay, maximum advertisement, please. Okay, so we have identified another problem here, of course, but still. Okay, so then we need to utilize the store for something else, then presumably. Is there anything available? I don't think there's any access of electronic components once we're said and done here, right? Yeah, it's just one thing after another in this game. 12 million, forget about this. My sanity, friends, my goddamn sanity. No, it's not good enough. It simply isn't good enough. What do they expect us to do here with these targets, you know? There's tons of plastic in here, not enough copper, then we don't have enough plastic in here. You get the idea. It never ends, essentially. I simply cannot feed in more plastic. It's impossible. I cannot fit in more plastic in here. It just ain't happening. And it's not because our trains are stuck someplace, right? No, of course, they are running non-stop, essentially. So, I'm just aghast here, really. What else can we possibly do for that matter? I simply don't know. Build us some safety margin, that would be the answer here, probably. We need to build electronic components. There's nothing else we can be selling otherwise. No televisions, no hi-fi systems, nothing. Nothing whatsoever. That probably makes it more complex than it has to be, really. Of course it does, and it's entirely by design, unsurprisingly. Maybe something small scale, something nice and easy for a change, you know, that would be great. I don't think that's going to happen. So, what else can we dump in here? We can make us some... What exactly? Some multimedia centers. Although I don't want to introduce another item into the industrial chain if at all avoidable. Because this is enough already here for me. I'm sorry. I suppose we can make ourselves some digital picture frames. Sure, why not? How many can we sell? Probably quite a few. 36, alright. So it's April and we've earned 4 million maybe, so I don't think we're quite there just yet. Probably not, I would think. Well, then we better stop complaining and start building, wouldn't you think? That's probably a better idea. I don't want to leave it up to chance, because if something else breaks for no reason whatsoever, then we are toast, essentially. It may look good on paper, but recovering from these incidents, it's hard, as we've already seen over the course of our adventures here in Industriegigant 1. But I really want to succeed with this mission, I really do. But the game doesn't make it easy on us. These are a thing in real life, granted. Some people also reuse old tablet PCs for that. Obsolete ones, they don't receive any software updates any longer, you know, something like that. It's a start here, I suppose, but of course we also need more plastic for the shit. Because everything uses plastic, which I suppose it's realistic when you think about it, but still. Ja, there's only one plastic plant. I know there are two this time around, but they are kind of far away. can't even double check if anything else right now in case something requires further micromanagement, which it may. I'm not quite sure what the rules are about these tunnels. Sometimes it does appear as if you should be able to build them, but then again it doesn't work. Because why can we not build a tunnel back here? What's the problem? I don't see any problem. So I'm not quite sure what the game is so upset about. I don't have any clue, frankly. I suppose we're getting there, right? So what's the verdict? 6.5 million with all of our buildings built at the same time. I don't think it looks too good here, frankly. We really need these industries here before we can even do anything else. Maybe in the final mission they'll give us access to car production eventually. Who knows? As we find out pretty shortly. These look decidedly less fancy with that large bezel and all. Okay. Doesn't really compare with our current tablets and whatever, wouldn't you think? Never mind dedicated picture frames. They're very slim, of course. But I think of all these items, it's the only one that actually saw mass production in real life. Certainly not the Vidcoms. And even multimedia centers are somewhat questionable because they fell out of favor after the introduction of, yeah, well, smart TVs, essentially. Guess they didn't know, of course, because how could they? Oh boy, man. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This game is super exhausting here, but I think we finally connected all the puzzle pieces we need, so now it's just a matter of demand to let it off. But I'm not quite sure we can deliver this many here anyhow, right? Okay, but start queuing up some trains, please. With these picture frames here. Yeah, this game is very exhausting. Okay, so we need to queue up some plastic trains first, I guess. Because it's the further away location, of course. Back here, one train with copper ought to be plenty, I'm hoping. But I'm very exhausted and I will be extremely wasted after this recording session. And this is supposed to be a relaxing game on the side, you know. But Industriegigant 1 is anything but, frankly. Now then, our little blunder aside, it may be possible to achieve our target this year here. Assuming, of course, everything will be humming along to a reasonable degree. And that's the first delivery of electronic components. But as I've just mentioned, this game is very exhausting, even when it shouldn't be. There we go, finally we're selling some items. So let's just take this opportunity to take a look back here, for instance. Of course, we have way too much plastic, of course, in storage already, despite removing a couple of wagons already. That's what I figured. It's very hard to find the proper balance in this game, of course. Over here, everything seems to be fine. And we're delivering a 60 per month almost. At least on average. Do we even want to look here again? I'm not sure. We have 2 maglev trains running back and forth non-stop here with the shit. But it just ain't good enough. I mean, there's not much else I can do here, frankly. It's impossible to funnel in more raw materials. It is impossible. It doesn't make any sense using trucks for this. And we still have a crippling shortage of plastic in both factories. And there's nothing I can do about that. Nothing whatsoever. So we just have to deal with the situation and hope for the best. Even though we're still paying for all these raw materials, of course, I'm fully aware. The stockpile seems to be holding steady, so maybe the ratio doesn't work out after all. So it's March and we've already earned 2 million. Alright, I don't think it will be good enough, I just don't think so. We have to earn at least 1 million per month. And I just don't see it here, we're actually losing money right now. I just... Okay, I need to give myself a breather here. This mission is just too hectic, I'm sorry. But how can we possibly feed in more raw materials in here? Like plastic to the other factory? I just don't see it happening, I'm sorry. I just don't see how. I'm sorry, but I simply don't see how this can be done because there's no space available, and even if I fix the copper shortage in this factory, it doesn't address the plastic shortage in this factory. And we're delivering the stuff as soon as possible, as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, as frequent as possible, and it simply ain't good enough here regardless. These electronic components are just cursed. They are just goddamn cursed, I'm sorry. They are goddamn cursed. Yeah, they are just goddamn cursed, right? And are you telling me this one train going back and forth isn't good enough to supply this? Apparently it ain't. No, it isn't, right? Of course it isn't. You cannot be serious with this. But the game is very serious about this right now. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? But I think it would be too much here. We have to remove at least 2 wagons, I think, per train. Something like that. And of course, over here the shortage is plastic. Of course it would be. So once again, we have insufficient plastic deliveries already, again. It's fucking cursed, I tell ya. It's goddamn fucking cursed. It really is, right? It really goddamn is cursed. But I simply cannot be expected to do much else here, right? It was already a pretty Herculean effort here, all things considered. I think that's fair to say. The electronic components are really the stuff of nightmares, especially on this scale. The only reliable part is the silver ring production. Thanks for that. Of course, they only care about yearly profit. They don't care about company value or turnover, anything in between. And we have plenty of both. And let me guess, now we're not shipping out the picture frames quickly enough, wouldn't you think? Of course not. So there's no space for additional platform, unsurprisingly. Maybe one additional train will fix that problem, who knows? Interesting. But I think we're getting their friends. I think it should be doable, thankfully. What a relief. Yeah, it's like 8 trains calling here with plastic deliveries non-stop, essentially. And it's not even all of them up, you know. Jesus Christ, man. How hectic can one mission be in this game? Almost there, maybe December. But I think the expenditures were kind of necessary. It doesn't help, of course, with profit, because apparently it draws directly from our profit margin for any given year. Even though it's well, investment we need, right? It's a bit strange. I love that these 2 trains don't have to stop at all, because the passing loop is exactly in the right position. Well, if you have, of course, sufficient deliveries of plastic. So, it's December, and what's the verdict? We are not getting here's the answer, right? Presumably. Out of May. During the last couple of days of the year. And there we have it. Apparently it was the last mission of the campaign after already now. Was it not the 9th out of 10? Interesting. Because apparently we have achieved a 75 out of 100. And apparently that's enough to succeed with the mission parameters for the entirety of the campaign. Interesting. Well, that's certainly climactic here, wouldn't you think? Especially given this mission. So we have become the new CEO of this company, with a company value of almost 70 million. Interesting. Well, there we have it, friends. That's the end of our adventures in Industriegigant M1 for the 2nd time. And of course, needless to say, this game has many shortcomings, especially the base version of this title. But if you want to pick it up for yourself, it's usually on sale on GOG.com as well as Steam for a couple of bucks. And it may be worth your time if you're enjoying an old and nostalgic, well, 1st generation Transport Tycoon type of clone, which of course Industriegigant was exactly intended to be for the German market. And otherwise, if you're following me along for the entire Let's Play, then thank you very much for watching. And otherwise there's nothing else to do except to wish you a good day, of course.